Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition. All right, guys, today is Wednesday, January the 18th, 2023. Sorry about that. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to have to give this an 8.5. It was pretty solid for certain scenes. Okay, let's get into it. So we see Phyllis and Tucker talking, and she just tells him, "Spare me with this whole Zen thing you have going on." And he says, "You're letting your anger about Diane consume you." And she says, "Because I see what everyone doesn't see. I see that Diane is no good, and she just brings you down." Huh. Uh, Y'all can say what you want about Phyllis, but she's been calling it since day one. She says, "I see that Diane can just bring you down, and she drags everyone down, and she has the wool pulled over everyone's eyes. But it's fine." And she said, "But spare with me with this whole Zen thing and acting like, oh, everything is just okay. Oh, everything is just gonna be fine." Because no, I don't want to hear all that. And so she's talking to him, and then he starts telling her, like, "You're letting Diane consume you, and you really need to just chill out and just let it go. Just let everything go with Diane, because you don't want to live that type of life where she's just always in your thoughts, and and you are ruining your relationships with other people because you can't let her go." And on one hand, Phyllis understands, but on the other hand, she's just like, "I just hate her. I just hate Diane." And I said, "Why don't y'all give Phyllis a break? Like, for the past few months, she has been consumed with her hatred for Diane. Like, it's not even good anymore. It's not even fun to watch anymore. When they first were scheming, Nikki, Ashley, and Phyllis, oh, it was like, oh Lord, these three together. But now it's just like it's almost coming off, and I like Phyllis, but it's almost coming off as pathetic because Diane is getting everything she wants. So Phyllis, just let it go at this point and move on with your life, and let these people find out how they find out, because baby, they will find out." And so then Tucker starts asking her about Daniel, because she brings up the fact that Daniel says that she needs to be a lot more positive. And he said, "Well, Phyllis, I mean, knowing you, I don't see that. Nah, I don't see that happening or anything." And she says, "I know." But he's just telling her, he said, "So what is Daniel working on?" She said, I'm not gonna give you any secrets about what my son is working on." And he says, I'm not trying to do anything." And she said, "No, Tucker, you're not gonna find out what my son is working on." And he says, "I would love to, talk business or do some kind of business with him." And she told him, I said, dang, she would rather be in a car with Diane with the windows up, sealed, and no music on, than let Daniel meet with Tucker. I said, "Now, Phyllis." Anyways, those two. So then we move on and we see Jill, Lily, and Devon. So Jill, Lily, and Devon are talking, right? Because they're going over the IPO. And Jill tells Devon, "What is wrong with you?" And he says, "There's nothing wrong with me." I said, "Why does there have to be something wrong with him for him to say, hey, I want my dad's company that we built. I don't want everyone to have a piece of it." That doesn't make something wrong with him. That makes him a smart businessman, that he doesn't want to answer to other people. Because he said, "It is not about money for me." That's where we differ, because for you guys, you're looking at, we're going to lose a lot of money. We're going to make a lot of money. This is money. He said, "I did it because I wanted it to be family." And he said, "And the way everything went down with Nate, I'm not feeling this." And Lily said, "You were all for the merger." And he said, "Really? Because you've been telling me for months that I was all against it." It took a lot of convincing, because now Lily trying to lie and say it didn't take a lot of convincing. I said, "Girl, yes, it did, because you kept wearing him down and wearing him down. And even when y'all did it, he kept telling y'all, let's not make a big splashy announcement." That was Nate who wanted to do that, who said, "Let's have this big party. Let's announce all these different things." That was Nate. And Lily, you were along for the ride, but Devon never wanted that. Y'all wanted that. And so now he's just like, "I want ownership of my. I don't want somebody being able to tell me what I can and can't do. I need to be the end, in the end voice. I want to be able to say, no, we're not doing that, and then that's a wrap. That's it. No one else has a say." He said, well, what y'all are wanting to do, we would be answering the shareholders, and I just don't want to do it. And so then they say, well, can you give us time to talk about it? And he was like, yeah, y'all can talk about it. So they do that. He leaves. And so Tucker and Devon come in, right? Where's the big remote, mama? Tucker and Devon come in, right? Excuse me, no, Tucker is at society, and Devon goes, and he goes to have a drink, and he and Tucker talk. And when they're talking, Tucker says, well, I know you don't want to talk to me, because Devon was like, I thought you would have been on left town by now. And Tucker was like, I know you don't want to talk to me, but it looks like you're in a bad mood. And he was like, I'll buy his drink or whatever. And Devon is just like, he's not going to talk anything with Tucker. Like, he doesn't trust him. He said, even if I wanted to, I'm not going to have any kind of, like, any type of business with you, because I already know I can't trust you. And that's what Devon was telling Lily and Jill as well. He was like, we've already had two people that we thought we could trust come in and try to take our company. And a Newman and the Newmans, he said, y'all are not being smart about this. Y'all are not being rational about this and saying that we should go public, and we'll it's about money. He says, our company is just subject to takeovers, and he doesn't want to live like that. I said, I understand you. But anyways, Devon don't want nothing to do with Tucker, so he tells the bartender, keep the change, because Tucker is like, here, I'm paying this, and I'm gonna pay if he wants anything else. And he told the bartender, keep the change, because I'm going back. I'm not gonna have a conversation with you. But I think at the end of the week, Tucker is actually going to have some kind of conversation with Devon, because I know Devon is going to get what he wants. But I remember on the spoiler, it was like he can't believe he got it through whoever he got it through. So I don't know. Maybe Jill and Lily do decide to go ahead and give him the company, because then he goes back up and they tell him they've made a decision, but they don't say what the decision is. Child, we go over here to Summer and Kyle. What can I say about Summer and Kyle? I loved Summer on this episode. She finally stood up for herself, because we have seen Summer bend over backwards to support Kyle and his dream of being with his mother. And Kyle is very disrespectful to Phyllis. And I'm just gonna address this in the right, because I'm thinking about Kyle. I understand that Kyle might not like Phyllis, and because someone was saying like, well, Phyllis talks to Diane bad, so that's why Kyle is like that. No, no, because Summer could say a lot of bad things about Diane, but she's refrained. So Kyle should refrain as well. If Phyllis talks bad about Diane, then Diane needs to go back and talk about Phyllis, and she does. So it's a cat. Like, Kyle doing it doesn't make it better, and it's not right. The way he talks about Phyllis to Summer, like his mama is sitting over here all innocent and hasn't done anything. And so Summer finally said, you're acting like my mother is the cause of all this, because she's talking about her mother, but he's like, you're doing it on purpose. You're purposely saying things that could apply to my mother. Yes, because they're the same. They both do wrong things. And he feels like he has the upper hand in this, because he says Phyllis is the one that brought Jeremy Starks in the town. And so I'm sorry, Jeremy would have found Diane either way. He would have found Diane either way. And even if she did bring him into town, Diane was the one who was doing wrong. Diane knew she had a past and it could catch up to her. She knew she had put Jeremy in prison. So if you want to blame someone, blame your mother for being sneaky and trying to put Jeremy in prison to get him off her back, instead of being like, no, you're going away because of what you've done to me. But anyways, Summer's fed up with it. She was like, I'm tired of you always defending your mom and putting mine down when they're both the same. They've both done wrong, and he just does not feel that way. And then she said, look at what your dad has done, because he was like, everything is fine, no, nothing's gonna go wrong. She said, your dad stole from my grandparents. And I'm like, you Kiki and Nola, no, this, Summer would never have allowed them to steal from her grandmother like that. She would have went right to Victor and told, like Summer of old would have went right to Victor and told what was going on. And the fact that y'all stole from her grandparents and you see nothing wrong with that is also annoying to me. Like y'all see nothing wrong with what you've done. But if Phyllis had came up with something like this, y'all would have been all over her like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't believe you done this. So Summer is just really fed up with Kyle at this point. Always, always putting his mother on a pedestal. So then we go to Jack and Diane, and she says everything is working fine, everything is going according to plan. So then we go to Jeremy and Chance, and so they're all in there together, right? They're all in there together, getting everything done. He's in there with Jeremy's in there with Chance because Chance knocks on the door, and Jeremy puts the bracelet because he was looking at the necklace. He puts it in his pocket. And because Diane left out of the room, right? Because she was supposed to be there while he was taking a shower, but she left. And so Chance comes in and he says he has a warrant from the Chicago PD because they have a missing something missing. And he was like, I was here all night, but you can search. And so he's like, let me get changed. So he gets changed. Chance Jeremy is changed, and Chance is searching, and he's telling Jeremy, "Go ahead and search go ahead and review the search warrant." And Jeremy was like, "I have nothing to hide." And I learned with police officers, you just keep your nose down and just do what they say, or whatever. And he said, "You really should look at the warrant," but Jeremy doesn't do it. And then Chance is searching, and he finds a necklace. The necklace on not the necklace, excuse me, the blueprints to Nikki's apartment underneath the bed. And he was like, "This is the apartment that we were looking for." That had a missing piece. And so he says, I need to search your body. And Jeremy was like, no, somebody's setting me up. You're not going to search my body. I didn't do this. And so they're like, oh no, don't you don't want us to you really, so chances like you really should have looked at the warrant because I have a right to search your person if he finds anything that would warrant him to do so. And so Jeremy's just like, no, you're not going to search me. And so around this time, Jack and Diane come. And I said, really? Really? Y'all came? So they come, and Jeremy has already figured out that Diane has done this to him. So Chance says that there was a man that went into Nikki's place. He was wearing a dark windbreaker, and he had Jeremy's glasses, and they said they ran the prints and they came back as Jeremy's prints on the glasses. And he said Diane has set me up. She's done all this. He was like, I was here all night. And I'm like, Chance, just run the security cameras and you'll probably see that Jeremy was here all night. And so then Diane and Jack come over, and I said, y'all really came over to see your handiwork? That's what they did. I said, Jack, I don't know. And so Jack and Diane come over, and they're like, what are you Jeremy was like, y'all, you came over to see your handiwork. What are you doing? He was like, they set me up. So then Chance is asking Diane questions because he said she's the one, because when Chance was telling Jeremy, I have to search your body, he was like, no. And so Jeremy was actually going after Diane because he was like, y'all came to see them do this to me. You set me up. And when he went after Diane, Chance grabbed him to stop him, and the necklace came out because it was in Jeremy's pocket. And so then then Jeremy said, Diane is the one who stole this. This is all her. She set me up. So then Chance is asking Diane questions, but Jack is vouching for her. No, I was with her all night long. She didn't go to Chicago. No, we were with each other and all this. And of course Chance believes Jack because I guess he's supposed to be like the good citizen. So he was like, okay. And so Jeremy says he was like, he just puts out his wrist and he's like, go ahead and cuff me because I'm not gonna be long. I'll be out by lunch. But Chance tells him, you're on probation. So this is like looking at 10 years. And Diane and Jack are like standing there so smug in front of Chance. And I'm like, you don't think anything's going on? because he had told Chance earlier, I'm here because somebody owes me money. He didn't say Diane or anything, but Diane said he thinks I owe him money. And she's like, he's been stalking me, he's been harassing me. And they think that, and so Chance is like, okay, so is this true? And Jack said, from my knowledge, everything Diane's saying is true. And I said, oh my gosh. And so Jeremy, he says, this isn't the last you've seen of me, Diane. And he winks at her and she says, oh, I bet it is. And so Chance leaves with Jeremy or whatever. And so then Diane and Jack go home and but first they text Kyle and they tell him. And so Kyle is like, everything worked out. He's going to prison. Like he's in custody. And Summer's like, everything's worked out for now. And he was like, what do you mean by that? And she was like, there's always trouble that follows your mom. Always. There's always something with Diane and you don't see it and it's ruining our marriage. I said, they're going to break up because of Diane. And Diane doesn't care. Y'all are absolutely right, Kiki. She does not care. She does these smirks whenever Kyle and Summer are having some kind of argument and Kyle takes her side. She's smirking and stuff. And so I don't know. You can say all you want and you can at me in the comments or try to justify it, but Diane is up to no good. And I think this is just the beginning of it. And if y'all think that they're going to let this go where Jeremy is just like, okay, so he's out of the way now. No, because I can't believe they actually went to this man's hotel room just to see him get arrested. And it's crazy. Oh, and they also found the windbreaker that Jack had on, Diane planted in his hotel room. But I was like, Chance, all you have to do is look at security cameras and you'll see Jeremy didn't do that. I'm like, I don't know how he's gonna get out of this, but I don't think they thought this thing through at all. But we'll see, y'all. So then Jack calls Nikki and he's like, Nikki, I heard about the robbery. Give me a call. I have some good and bad news for you. And then he and Diane are like, oh my God, it's over. And he was like, you were so good. And she was like, oh, I was so nervous. But the way you protected me with Chance. But this is the type of woman I've told y'all, like, I'm not mad at him and Diane for being together. That's how he needs a woman that needs him. He does. He needs a woman that needs him. So they kiss each other and all that. And y'all, that was Young and the Restless today. I don't know. I don't like this whole thing with Jack. Because you know what is annoying about that is that if Phyllis had done that, he would have been fussing like he was her dad. He would have been fussing at her and everything. But you went and stole something from Nikki's apartment. I don't care if y'all are friends. You didn't have permission to do that. You went in and then you put a man who didn't do, like y'all keep saying Jeremy, oh my gosh, he's so dangerous. But Jeremy hadn't done anything. And you went and put him in prison. You're putting him in prison because you want him away from Diane. Like Diane has put this man in prison for the second time for something that she has done. And I know the last time he was using her or whatever, but she put him in prison and then tried to hide her hands. No, it wasn't me. And this time, because she has Jack by her side, she's just like, they went over there gloating. That's what behooved me. Y'all are really over in this man's face after he's going to prison for what you did. And then y'all going to smooth it over with Nikki. Oh, it was me. We had to get rid of Jeremy and all that. Like, you wouldn't have done that if like Phyllis had did this or someone else. You would have been so upset and you wouldn't have went along with it. You would have been calling them all kind of reckless and careless and everything like that. So I don't know, y'all tell me what you think. You always do. But that was Young and the Restless today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soaps, the Young and the Restless edition. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.